Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Fire destroys several buildings on the city's southwest side overnight. Details just ahead.
And coming up, as coronavirus cases continue to climb, some cities in America putting restrictions on 4th of July celebrations. I'm Andrew Dibbert in Washington, D.C. with the latest.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. I had a couple of sprinkles on my way to work. Mike will let us know if that rain will continue or will things heat up.
Good morning. It is Monday, July 6th, better known as the hangover from 4th of July weekend.
I feel great.
Do you?
Let's do this week.
My ears are still ringing.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I know
so
there was
many.
a lot of fireworks shows that weren't happening, but apparently the neighbors decided they'd have their own.
Oh, my neighborhood too.
Yeah.
For several hours.
A lot of neighbors get them, but it was a nice weekend.
Yeah.
It was hot, though, this weekend. Yeah, we did hit our first triple digits, and then some. Got up into the low hundreds a couple of days. I think we'll be just shy of it today, but still 99. I mean, I know it's 1 degree, but psychologically it makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah, there is still a little bit of rain around the area as of right now. We've got this northwesterly flow and these disturbances that have decided to move through in the overnight hours. And a couple of showers here and there. Dave just said that he saw a few lightning strikes coming into work this morning. And some of this is just some clutter on the radar site, but obviously we do have some light showers moving on through. And as this rolls back on through, there's those few lightning strikes with that spot coming right down in toward, say Canyon Lake, San Marcos. Still a little bit of lightning off to the east of Austin, and all this is working its way down to the southeast. We'll continue to have a couple of these scattered showers around this morning, and most should be out of the picture by about mid-morning, maybe a leftover shower or two well up to the east of Austin later on today. Temperatures. Yep, it is back to very hot conditions. Cloud cover as well as the humidity, which has come back up. Of course, humidity has been dropping down in the afternoons, and that's what has allowed temperatures to get so hot. It will drop down somewhat this afternoon, but I think we have just an extra cloud around here and an extra little bit of humidity that's going to keep temperatures down this afternoon. Mid 80s for dew point, for heat index readings right now. We'll still have those heat index readings up in close to the low hundreds later on. A couple of showers left over this morning. 99 for high temperature. Don't fret. The triple digits are back in the forecast, maybe in a couple of days. Details coming up in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now on this Monday morning. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo. Did you have a good weekend, sir?
Good weekend, Mike. How about you? Did you have a good weekend?
Very well.
And right now, there we go.
Let's see. Now you're on.
There we go.
Yep.
And right now, if we take a look at the roadways, we do have some areas where you could have some slick streets. So watch out on I-10. On I-10, looks like we had a pretty good downpour a little while ago between 410 and Vance Jackson particularly, but stretching all the way just past Fresno. So keep that in mind. If you're headed in that direction, you will have some slick conditions, particularly around all those curves there on the highway. Let's take a look outside through TransGuide. Right now, 281 Grayson, so far north and southbound lanes there looking pretty good. And as we move over here to I-10 and Hackberry over on the east side, no issues there. I-10 and 35 here in the downtown vicinity, still looking pretty good. 35 is Splashtown, north and southbound lanes. So far, no issues. David?
Thank you, sir. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters spent most of the night battling a fire that involved at least 4 structures on the southwest side. It happened just after 10 last night in the 1100 block of Quintana Road, just east of Kelly Field Annex. San Antonio police say an apartment building, 2 commercial buildings, and a house all involved. SAPD says no one was home at the time. They say a few vehicles also caught fire. A cause not been determined yet, but the house appears to be a complete loss.
San Antonio and Bexar County reported the youngest COVID-19 related death so far. According to the city's website, the patient is 19 years old or younger. That death is one of 8 in the latest report. That makes 13 total over the weekend. Also, 198 new cases were reported, bringing our total to 14,751 people with COVID-19. More and more people are going to the hospital. So far, there are 1,142 patients in local hospitals, with 365 of those people in ICU and 197 on ventilators. Only 10% of staffed hospital beds are still available in the county. About 5,766 people have recovered.
With the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic this year, the 4th of July holiday weekend felt and looked a little different than in years past.
Most firework displays across the nation were canceled to avoid large crowds, and beaches were closed in Florida, California, and Texas. But as Andrew Dimbert reports from Washington, it didn't prevent people from gathering despite surges in cases in several hotspots.
As several states see a spike in coronavirus cases, crowds and celebrations this 4th of July weekend were seen coast to coast. Many ignoring social distancing and mask recommendations. In Florida, one of the nation's newest COVID-19 hotspots, there are now over 200,000 confirmed cases, 10,000 in one day alone. The state now accounting for 20% of new cases in the entire country.
As the cases do rise, increase in hospitalizations will definitely increase as well. This is going to be something that isn't going to go away overnight.
Texas reaching a tipping point with a record number of hospitalizations this past weekend. The mayor of Austin tells CNN.
If we don't change the trajectory, then I am within 2 weeks of having our hospitals overrun.
And in Arizona, officials say ICU beds are running out. Only about 150 remain in the entire state.
We opened way too early in Arizona. We were one of the last states to go to stay at home and one of the first to reemerge.
Meanwhile, President Trump continues to dismiss the new numbers, again suggesting the spikes are a result of more testing.
We have tested almost 40 million people. By so doing, we show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
FDA Commissioner Dr. Stephen Hahn disagrees.
Well, what I'd say is, any case we don't want to have in this country. Any death, any case is tragic.
A vaccine is still a ways away, with health officials hoping one can be produced by the end of this year or early next year. And still, many parts of the country are moving forward with their reopening plans. New York City, for example, once the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, is moving forward with phase 3 of its reopening today, while here in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, we entered phase 2. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
A vigil was held last night in honor of Vanessa Guillen in Main Plaza in front of the San Antonio Fernando Cathedral. This as Army investigators confirm that the remains discovered along the Leon River are Guillen's. Guillen disappeared 2 months ago after she was killed allegedly at the hands of another soldier at Fort Hood. Her family's attorney said they were unable to use the dental records to identify Guillen because of the state of her remains and instead used DNA from bone and hair samples. During the vigil, people demanded justice and answers.
The military, as far as I can tell, didn't take her case seriously enough. They didn't investigate it fast enough. And that's unacceptable. She deserved better than that.
She gave her life to the Army, and now we're going to make sure that her legacy lives on. We are going to be her voice.
Castro says the Congressional Hispanic Caucus is now asking for an independent investigation into what happened to Guillen. He says ultimately they will request a congressional investigation as well.
Well, it's 4:38 and 81 degrees.
Still ahead of Good Morning San Antonio, parents are struggling to balance work and child care while school districts decide what the classroom will look like come this fall.
And for the first time in 6 years, 2 U.S. Navy aircraft carriers are in South China and in the South China Sea. We'll tell you why next.
And outside with live cams, some lightning, little thunder this morning. What's it going to be like for the rest of the morning and on into your Monday? Mike Goes-Hage with the forecast coming up. You're watching Good Morning San Antonio.
Welcome back. It's 4:41. In your morning headlines, for the first time in 6 years, 2 U.S. Navy aircraft carriers are in the South China Sea. The 2 U.S. carriers arrived in the region as China wrapped up its own set of naval exercises near a disputed island chain. It's the latest show of military might from Washington as it pushes back against China's sweeping claim to much of the contested region. The Navy says American carriers conducted several tactical exercises designed to maximize air defense capabilities. It is for the first time 2 U.S. carriers have operated together in the South China Sea since 2014, and only the second time since 2001.
Back here in the States, officials believe 8 people are dead after 2 planes collided in Idaho Sunday. Officials say first responders recovered 2 of the bodies, but the aircraft sank before they could find the other 6. Multiple children are among those killed. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the planes are in water that's about 120 feet deep.
Yet another health concern for 2020. This time it's Lyme disease. The Lyme Disease Research Group reports a mild winter could make this year's tick season especially rough. Experts say that's because many people who've been stuck inside due to the coronavirus may, quote, let their guard down once they're able to venture out into the outdoors. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has announced an increase in tick-borne diseases like Lyme disease.
The Spurs continue their workouts at their practice facility here in San Antonio, where COVID-19 cases top 14,000. They continue to get tested on a daily basis while the Spurs practice facility is cleaned regularly. In fact, this is a rare look inside the Spurs practice facility since the media is not allowed in. Only team staff members that will be traveling with the Spurs when they depart for Orlando on Thursday are being allowed inside the facility. And here's a look at the Spurs scrimmage schedule on Thursday, July 23rd. It's closer than you think. They're going to be facing Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. Then on Saturday, July 25th, they take on Brooklyn. And then on Tuesday, July 28th, they play Indiana at 3 o'clock. And then it's time to kick off, tip off, get ready for the season. What short season is left.
Are you excited?
It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
I think it's going to be exciting as, professional sports come back.
It's nice to hear from them, through the Zoom calls and all that kind of stuff. The way they come across. At least we get to. They're there.
I think they miss us too. They miss your face,
They
David.
probably miss you. 444, 81 degrees. Is it 81? Yeah, it is 81.
Wow. Well, still ahead, a look at how a Southwest Airlines flight attendant went the extra mile to serve a passenger with autism during a recent flight to Dallas.
And also coming up next, as we get closer to the start of the new school year, parents are desperate for a solution when it comes to balancing work and childcare.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's the parenting challenge of the COVID economy. Parents struggling to hang on while school districts decide what the classroom will look like come fall.
I am hearing universally that we are overwhelmed. We know we can't keep up with this. Everybody is overwhelmed and everybody has their hands tied.
Deb Perelman, a New York City mom and author, telling GMA that parents are desperate for a solution.
There are people who have hit pause, been able to hit the pause button on a project under the idea that September would return some level of normalcy in childcare and not having your kids there all day. And now they can't. And they're really afraid they're going to have to leave the workforce.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll tell you why experts say when it comes to back to school, there's no one-size-fits-all plan. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
It is now 4:48. A flight attendant going the extra mile for a passenger with autism.
ABC's Whit Johnson shows us her surprise for him on his graduation day.
Garrison, I was your flight attendant.
It all started with a chance encounter on a flight to Dallas, an instant connection, and a note of kindness.
I remembered how much you love airplanes. My dad, brother, grandpa, cousin, and uncle are all pilots. I found this old airplane guide, and I thought you should have it.
That note and these books coming from Southwest flight attendant Erica Connolly to this young man, Garrison Christie, after they met on that plane last year.
Just a few minutes on a plane changed his life in getting this amazing friend.
Oh. It's from the war. 18-year-old Garrison is autistic, but he and Erica share a passion for planes.
So I was excited to interact with him and hear, let him tell me everything he wanted to share about flying.
Soon, a friendship blossomed. Erica attending Garrison's baseball game, even taking him to the Southwest Airlines flight simulator.
I always try to be just a little bit kinder than what is necessary.
Not everyone can be as nice and understanding.
So when Garrison's graduation from high school was coming up and tickets were limited.
Before he even got to a family member, his first selection was Erica.
She's my favorite.
And so she went. His pal watching from the stands. Erica giving Garrison a surprise gift, a photo with him in a flight suit. It was her dad's. Garrison, for a day, getting to be his own Top Gun.
We all need a lot more Ericas in the world.
Oh, sweet.
Great story.
Such a good. Nice to see those stories during everything that's going on right now.
For sure. It's nice to see traffic moving smoothly on a Monday morning as well.
That's right, David. It is moving pretty good right now with no accidents on the highway. So we're going to move from the map over to TransGuide right now, looking at 410 at Highway 151. So far, no issues there. And we're taking a look at blank screen. So we're going to skip to the next camera. There we go. 35 at Evans. There was no traffic on that other screen. That's why it's blank. 35 at Evans, north and southbound lane still running smoothly. And take a look. 37 at Jones here in the downtown vicinity. So far, no problems there. So all in all, not a bad time. Going to the southwest side, Highway 90, 410. Traffic moving along fairly well. Mike?
Thank you very much, sir. You may see a couple of wet spots on the roads this morning. We've had a few little showers out there. All right, who has a backyard or front yard thermometer that was well up into the triple digits? Kind of getting a workout this weekend. This is right around Pipe Creek, and this thermometer says about 109 degrees. We did hit 102 yesterday, officially out there at the airport. And again, in your backyard, it may have well been up around 109. But notice how the humidity was very, very low because the air really dried out, obviously. And that allows temperatures to heat up much more easily. Dry air does than moist air. We certainly have moist air this morning. There's a lot of humidity out there, cloud cover, as well as a couple of these showers. We've got this northwesterly flow again. And you get these little disturbances in the northwesterly flow and you get some showers that can crop up. And that's definitely been the situation. And notice how a few more are now starting to pop up kind of upstream a little bit. So we've had the first little wave to move on through here. Still got a few of these showers, Bandera County, just to the south of Kerrville. And then this band that's sliding down right along 35. And there have been a couple of lightning strikes that have been detected as well, and a few more that are going to be popping up throughout the morning. So we'll still continue to see some of these showers, even a clap of thunder or two here and there. Temperatures are well above normal. 74 is the normal low temperature, and we're at 81 right now, and upper 70s in parts of the hill country. And of course, the humidity is back, as is usually the case. And of course, we had that little break last week as far as the morning humidity, but we're back into that cycle again. It will drop down later on this afternoon. First of all, though, we do have a heat index of 86 to deal with as of right now. It is, like I said, going to be dropping down somewhat this afternoon, then coming back up tomorrow. We go through that same cycle again each and every day. As far as how much it drops down this afternoon, I think that's very dependent, or temperatures are very dependent upon that. As of right now, we do have a heat index, according to this computer model, 99 degrees. So it will drop down, that we won't have that much of a heat index, but I think temperatures do stay right about 99 today instead of 100. I know it's only 1 degree, but it just seems psychologically that much cooler later on. So 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. So we'll still have a few clouds hanging around here today. We've got the showers around this morning, maybe a clap of thunder or two. And then later on this afternoon, partly cloudy skies. And again, 99, winds out of the south about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we will stay right around upper 90s, a few extra clouds here and there, still plenty of sunshine, and very warm and humid in the morning. Then humidity drops down a little bit. But in case you were, really wanting more triple digits, your wishes come true. Thursday, Friday through the weekend, hot and then hotter.
Gonna be one of those summers, huh?
What is this?
Wow.
Well, I mean, we usually do see a few triple digits around every once in a while, so it's not.
It's July.
Yeah, it's the middle of July. It's not really that unusual.
There you go.
Well, stay inside.
453 and 81 degrees.
Still ahead, the latest Mission Impossible movies starring Tom Cruise is getting a pass when it comes to coronavirus restrictions. More details on that's next.
We've got the latest on the Tom Cruise newest Mission Impossible film, and Kanye West says he's running for president.
What's for the latest that's happening in Hollywood? Here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Tom Cruise won't have to quarantine for 2 weeks when he returns to England to resume production there on Mission Impossible 7. UK officials have granted him an exemption so cameras can resume rolling after production on the film was suspended in February due to COVID-19. That'll also pump much-needed cash into England's stalled film industry. Production will still be subject to strict virus prevention protocols. There's no official word yet on exactly when MI7 production will resume.
can only make me stronger.
Kanye West says he's running for president. The rapper tweeted the announcement on the 4th of July, though it could be a way to grab the spotlight ahead of the release of his forthcoming album, God's Country. If not, he'd better get busy. Election day's only 4 months away.
What's your name? Donald Draper.
Amazon has scooped up the streaming rights to Mad Men for their IMDb TV just weeks after the acclaimed series left Netflix. And comic and actor Kevin Hart is 41 Monday. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
President Kanye.
President Ye. He's known as the Ye. Not the Ye, but Ye.
Yay.
Or Yeezy. I don't know.
457, 81 degrees.
Still ahead in our next half hour, a suspect in the case of Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen is expected to appear in court today. We'll have the latest coming up in your morning headlines.
Plus, more details on a new Google Chrome update that could extend your laptop's battery life. Details ahead on Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, a suspect in the case of Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen expected to appear in court later today. Details on her alleged involvement.
Plus, Mayor Ron Nirenberg takes to social media to address the community about recent coronavirus numbers.
And outside with live cam, had a little lightning, a little bit of thunder earlier today, a couple of raindrops. Will it last, or will this just be brutally hot today? We'll find out in just a second. Good morning. It's Monday, July 6th.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And I had some rain on 35 heading into work, but I don't think it's going to last. I would love for it to last, Mike.
Well, it's not going to be a whole bunch. I mean, individual spots, you may get a quarter of an inch of rain, perhaps a little bit more than that. But most of this is not going to be anything all that significant, kind of just a nuisance here and there. You may see a few lightning strikes as well, so don't be surprised at that. Now, temperatures are way, way up. We are right now 6 degrees above normal, 79, right now in Uvalde, and dew points, of course, are up. We go through that daily cycle with the humidity being on the higher side. And here's what it looks like on radar right now. We've got still some of these showers. There are a few more kind of developing a little bit upstream. So we've had the first sort of wave moving on through, and still a couple of these showers out here in toward portions of the hill country. In and around town, most of this is just on the light side. A lot of this is some ground clutter around the radar site. But then you move up just a little bit further up to the north, and now got a couple of lightning strikes in and around just to the north of Canyon Lake, and more of this coming in from Blanco County heading down to the southeast. So if you're going up 35 around San Marcos, you're going to be seeing some of this, as well as perhaps around New Braunfels, again, up in northern portions of Comal County, and then out in parts of the hill country. So we'll still keep some of these showers around throughout the rest of the morning, and then it's just going to have partly cloudy skies. 80s, as I mentioned right now, same thing up around Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, 79 in Bulverde, and the humidity, of course, with these dew points up into the 70s. Now, the humidity will drop down somewhat later on today. I think we have just a couple of extra clouds around. By the way, heat index mid-80s, low to mid-80s around the area right now. I think we have a couple of clouds and just enough to keep us from hitting the infamous triple-digit mark today. Of course, we did hit it twice over the weekend, 101, 102 Saturday and Sunday, respectively. So partly cloudy, 99 today, although it will feel like it's right around 100. Obviously, and partly cloudy, upper 90s the next couple of days. So temperatures are held just a tad below 100, but then we get over into the weekend, late in the week and the weekend, and we're going to be back up into the low hundreds. So we're not done with the real hot stuff yet. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Well, thank you, Mike. And folks, as we take a look at the roadways, still no accidents on the highways. Momentarily, we did have one being reported on 281 over there by Sunset, but officers went to the scene and weren't able to locate anything. So right now, highways still look pretty good. Let's take a look at a couple of TransGuide cameras. I-10, 410 over on the east side so far, no issues there. Then 35 is Splashdown north and southbound lanes still running smoothly at this point. Now, if you do encounter some of those damp spots, just remember, both hands on the wheel, put away those distractions this morning. David?
Thank you, Officer Trujillo. Now to the latest on the killing of Vanessa Guillen, the Fort Hood soldier last seen back in April.
This morning, a suspect in the case will make her first court appearance. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
This morning, more than 2 months later, confirmation that investigators have identified the remains of Army soldier Vanessa Guillen, as her family claims the Army did not take her disappearance seriously.
I'm not just going to stay grieving in my room because I know Vanessa wouldn't want that. She wants justice.
Guillen was last seen April 22nd outside her barracks at Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas. Investigators found her remains in late June, 20 miles from the base.
Why it happened? Why it took this long?
Investigators say Army Specialist Aaron Robinson took his own life after being identified as a suspect. This morning, his alleged accomplice, Cecily Aguilar, will make her first court appearance, accused of helping dismember and hide Guillen's body. Aguilar is the estranged wife of a former soldier at Fort Hood. According to attorneys for Guillen's family, Aguilar told investigators that Guillen saw a picture of her on Robinson's phone and threatened to report Robinson for adultery, which is a crime in the military. But Guillen's family does not believe that was the motive. They say Robinson was sexually harassing Guillen.
Vanessa's father, her sisters all said that's not like Vanessa to want to report someone for having an affair. What we believe is she probably was telling him she was going to report him about the sexual harassment.
Investigators say they found no evidence that Guillen was sexually harassed. Army officials are defending their handling of the case.
What I was able to share was tempered by my responsibility to protect the integrity of the investigation so that we could A, find Vanessa, B, prosecute those responsible for this travesty.
Guillen's family is calling for a congressional investigation into how this case was handled. Cecily Aguilar, meanwhile, faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
A San Antonio soldier's division is in mourning following his recent death caused by a vehicle rollover in Afghanistan. That's according to the Department of Defense. The crash, which killed 21-year-old specialist Vincent Sebastian Ibarria, happened on Friday. Details surrounding it have been limited. Military officials say the investigation is ongoing. A statement from the spokesperson from the 10th Mountain Division, to which Ibarria belonged, reads, in part, quote, our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Specialist Vincent Ibarria during this difficult time. The loss of any mountain soldier has a lasting impact on every member of the team. The 10th Mountain Division mourns the loss of Specialist Ibarria. He will be severely missed from our formation.
As the death toll continues to rise here in Bexar County and San Antonio from COVID-19, Mayor Ron Nirenberg took to social media to address the community last night. The addition to those deaths, over 1,000 COVID-19 patients have been hospitalized. While there are still some staffed beds and ventilators available, the mayor says area hospitals are approaching capacity. But he adds there is hope if the community continues to follow the typical health practice.
The tools that we do have at our disposal are simple and effective. So please, stay home if you can.
And new testing guidelines will also begin today. COVID-19 testing sites will now only test people who are experiencing symptoms. Anyone who may have been exposed or is asymptomatic will have to be tested at a healthcare facility.
And to give you a better idea of how our COVID-19 cases have worsened, here's a graphic showing those latest numbers compared to a month ago. On June 5th, there were 3,143 confirmed cases and only 88 people were hospitalized.
It is now 5:08 and 80 degrees.
Oh, still ahead, looking to add a little more battery time to your laptop. Why using Chrome can help you go longer between charge times.
And outside with live cam, we talked about it earlier this morning. You might have seen some lightning out your window, maybe heard a little thunder. How long will it last? Will we get much rain? Mike goes, hey, he's got your forecast coming up. Don't count on it. Welcome back. 11 minutes after 5 o'clock. Thousands of kids across the country are stepping up to make a difference during the pandemic.
Max Massey reports on a few who started small but are now making a big impact.
Micah Mulford's love of building things moved from remote control cars to something more practical during this pandemic.
When I saw how big of a need there was for these extenders, I decided to put my 3D printers to work.
Micah's printed more than 3,000 face mask extenders to help masks fit better. All 3 of Micah's printers are running 24/7, shipping them for free to hospitals and nursing homes throughout Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and North Carolina.
We're just really makes me feel like I'm actually doing something.
High school senior Ranch Campbell put his love of engineering to good use.
Food retailer workers were sort of on the front lines of this crisis.
With a modified table saw and his own design, Ranch creates plexiglass shields.
I thought it'd be a perfect way for me to apply my skills.
And Joe Kianco has turned shopping and delivery into his first business.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to go shopping for people.
A recent college grad with a degree in finance, he created an Instagram page and got his first customer.
We got a pretty small order today, just some chips, soup.
Creating Smart Shop to help the elderly.
Meat, dairy products, some produce.
A team of 50 drivers now deliver to 850 customers. They're now expanding from Long Island to New Jersey, Manhattan, Connecticut, and now Joe has his eyes set on California, Colorado, and Florida.
This is taking off. And the best part about it is that we are helping thousands of people.
All right, that's everything. Thank you so much.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Future entrepreneurs right there.
I know. I love seeing the future generation doing so good.
And they're all below 20 years old, figuring all this out.
Way to go, guys. All right, it's 5:13 and 80 degrees outside.
Still ahead, singer-songwriter Pharrell is revealing, we'll just call him Pharrell.
Yeah, just Pharrell.
Because, you know, it's just what is it? Yay.
Yay.
So we'll just
Pharrell.
He's revealing more information about his upcoming gospel series on Netflix.
And up next, more details as Uber agrees on a deal to buy food delivery app Postmates.
From prom dresses to soccer practices and new adventures. You hope the more you give, the less they'll miss. But even if your teen was vaccinated against meningitis in the past, they may be missing vaccination for meningitis B. Let's help protect them together. Because missing Men B vaccination could mean missing out on a whole lot more. Ask your doctor if your teen is missing meningitis B vaccination.
Every time you touch a surface, bacteria is left behind. Now consider how many times your family touches the surfaces in your home in 24 hours. Try new Microban 24. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially. Once dry, it forms a bacteria shield that keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, even after multiple touches. Try new Microban 24. Available in multi-purpose sanitizing and bathroom sprays. This has been Medifax for Microban 24.
In today's Tech Bites, Uber is buying food delivery app Postmates. Uber's regular rideshare business has been hurt by the pandemic. The company hopes the reported $2.65 billion deal will expand its on-demand food delivery service. Google may have fixed the Chrome browser's battery drain problem. A software change could add as much as 2 hours to a laptop's battery life. It's not clear when the update is coming, but reports say it's imminent and will only be available to those running Android 10 or later. And finally, a massive display by a casino still under construction. Resorts World Las Vegas activated its 100,000 square foot LED screen with a digital fireworks show. The screen is 340 feet wide and made up of more than 3,000 LED panels. It took 7 months to build. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Right now on KSAT.com, the Youth Orchestras of San Antonio is holding online auditions and a virtual summer camp this month. First, the Summer Symphony Camp takes place from July 13th through the 17th. The virtual camp will give campers the opportunity to improve their skills, work with professional artists, and make music. Registration for the camp is now open on the YOSA website. Also, you can be a part of the upcoming YOSA season by auditioning online. The audition includes sending in a recording of yourself playing. Auditions will close on July 15th, and it's free to try. All the information on how to audition and the virtual camp are on our website, KSAT.com. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
So far, the roads aren't bad. We've had a little incident out there. Just one, though, right?
I think just one. Officer Trio?
One.
Right now, as we take a look, so far, no issues. We did have the possibility of the one. You are correct, Sarah, up there on 281, but officers went up there and could not locate anything. So, could have been a false call. Maybe somebody didn't even know exactly where they were. That's never happened. As we take a look outside through TransGuide 281 at Grayson, you can see north and southbound lanes still running smoothly, so no issues there. And moving over to I-10 410 over on the east side, traffic also still moving fairly well, so no delays in anyone's travel times, and those couple spots on the roadways that were a little damp should be all dry by now.
But we do have a little more rain coming, so keep that in mind. There's still more out there this morning. Did anybody see this over the weekend?
I did. It was the eclipse, right?
Well, there was an eclipse, but also because you can only have a lunar eclipse when you have a full moon, and it was the full moon late Saturday night, just before midnight, and it was absolutely gorgeous out there. And yes, there was a partial eclipse on top of that. We have a lot of clouds around. Not going to see any moons or suns or anything like that this morning with all these clouds hanging around here. And Marcus was talking about some damp spots on the roads. It looks like for right now here in town, the rain has dried, but obviously, or the roads have dried, the rain has ended. But we do have more of these showers coming in here from the northwest. And notice how a few more have been developing just in about the past, say, half an hour or so. So all this will continue to work its way down to the southeast. We have those few showers moving on through. A lot of this is some clutter right in here, but we do have a few more little showers around here, and even a couple of lightning strikes have been picked up in some of these cells. It's not a lot of lightning, but just don't be surprised if you see one or two of them. 80 right now in town, 76 at Stinson, 77 Bandera, and of course humidity remains high, so we do have heat index readings right now that are about 4 or 5 degrees above the actual air temperature, and it actually feels like it's 10 degrees above the normal low. Now, we will see the humidity drop down. Its usual kind of cycle that we go throughout the day. So we'll see these dew points drop down into the 50s and 60s. So therefore, won't have much of it, won't feel that much hotter than what the actual air temperature is today. Humidity comes back in tomorrow morning, of course, and then it'll drop, but not quite as much in the afternoon. So that's going to do a couple of different things. Obviously, make it feel hotter in the afternoon tomorrow, but also that's going to keep us from really hitting, getting up to 100 again. We're going to be in the upper 90s today. I think we don't hit 100 for the next couple of days, but then that will come back. Now, we do see humidities in the afternoons, of course, staying up a little bit and then really dropping down as we go into the weekend. But that's kind of good news, bad news. Not much humidity, but on the flip side of that, dry air heats up a lot more easily. So we're definitely going to be seeing triple digits come back in here once we get in toward the weekend. Computer model keeps a few of these showers around this morning. It's trying to get one or two of them scared up later on this afternoon, and then up around Austin and northeast of there could be a few more of these showers, and maybe a thunderstorm or two kind of thrown on in here as well. But most of the rain is just going to be sticking around, unfortunately, for the morning commute. So there will be some damp spots on the roads. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature gets up to 99, partly cloudy, and there'll still be some triple digits out there, especially off to the southwest. The next couple of days, I don't think we hit it here in town. Obviously, it's going to be very close to it. We'll have partly cloudy skies, but then just in case you were, getting a little just disappointed that we weren't going to see triple digits after the past 2 days.
Was upset.
You don't look happy over there, Sarah.
I'm very upset with you. I'm not upset at you, just with you in the situation. I don't. How about the next week? How about the next week?
Wow. Just go over here out of the, hot?
Wow.
Just the messenger.
I know. I'm just, I can just see my plants dying and being sweaty outside.
It's called summer.
I know.
Your plants dying and being sweaty? That's an interesting combination. 520, go out and sweat while you water your plants.
That's what I do every day. It's part of my routine.
Up next, your morning spotlight production on some major hit movies, including Mission Impossible, finally gets to continue overseas.
This is a bad idea.
Turns out that filming a movie in the middle of a pandemic isn't an impossible mission after all. The British government is now allowing small groups of essential cast and crew to enter the UK, but under strict guidelines. It's great news for Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible 7, which will now be able to resume production, as will another potential blockbuster, Jurassic World Dominion. Pharrell Pharrell Williams is one happy man. Netflix just picked up the singer-songwriter's new reality series, Voices of Fire. The show takes place in his hometown of Hampton Roads, Virginia, and follows the hitmaker as he puts together a gospel choir. Williams and his team will be looking for undiscovered talent of all ages and backgrounds. Voices of Fire debuts later this year. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Yeah, you're all perked up. You just heard the happy song.
It's going to be in our head all week.
527, 80 degrees. Already is. There you go.
Well, still ahead in our next half hour, we'll have the latest on the many deadly shootings that were reported around the country over the July 4th holiday weekend.
Plus, as people continue to topple statues across the country, President Trump vowing to defend the nation's historical monuments.
And what is the best flooring options if you have pets in your house? We'll take a look at some of those top choices you should consider. Good morning. It's Monday, July 6th. Are you happy and awake yet?
Yes, very happy, very awake. And it's recovering from the 4th of July weekend. A lot of folks out enjoying the lakes and the rivers, even though we're
supposed to be
under
staying
some
at
restrictions,
home.
but
hopefully
they were out there anyway.
Hopefully the heat,
We'll see how it works out.
Mike, will encourage everyone to stay at home.
Well, you got to find some way to beat the heat. Now, we did hit 100 a couple of times over the weekend, 101, 102, respectively, Saturday and Sunday. We'll be close enough to it. Now, I'm sure in your backyard it may well be up into the low hundreds. And then, it's just going to be staying hot. Nice thing is we do have a couple of showers out there. This is not, a huge rain event at all, but at least some folks are getting a little bit of rain. We've had a few showers move through town right now. It looks like a lot of this may be some clutter or even a couple of sprinkles, but there are a few more sprinkles, especially upstream. Even there have been a couple of lightning strikes. Don't be surprised if there is a lightning strike or two. And as you can see coming right down 10, a moderate shower or two. Again, you may see in some spots a quarter of an inch of rain, which, hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. But like I said, this is not going to be a big widespread rain event, just a little free lawn watering for some folks and just some damp roads for other folks. 80 here in town, 78 Randolph, and 79 up the road in Comfort. Again, we've got our morning humidity, so therefore we've got some heat index to deal with right now, low to mid 80s. And then later on this afternoon, it's not going to be ridiculously humid. We'll see a bit of a drop in the humidity. So 99 for high temperature. It's going to feel right around there with the lower humidity, partly cloudy skies. If you're looking forward to more triple digits, just wait. They are definitely in the forecast down the road. More on that coming up. Time saver traffic right now, Officer Marcus Trujillo, and I see a lot of flashing lights on one of the TransGuide cameras.
That's right. We have a couple of things going on. So now we have a couple of accidents. First one, 410. It's going to be eastbound 410 as you're approaching Harry Wurzbach. Watch out for some of those flashing lights as officers are clearing an accident. Then we have a major accident southbound 35 as you're approaching Hubertus Road. Now, the thing is, with this accident, it does appear from this TransGuide camera as if everyone is being diverted onto the access road. So it does appear at this time that all main lanes are closed and all traffic's being diverted to the access road southbound 35. Now, this camera vantage is from 35 at Schwab, zoomed in south. This is right before you reach Hubertus Road. Sarah?
Thank you, Marcus. A fire on the southwest side has left quite a bit of damage in its wake. It ripped through at least one business, a home, and some apartments, all in the 1100 block of Quintana Road. Our Katrina Weber, she is live at the scene. Katrina, is there any word on how this might have started?
The fire investigators have not shared any of that information with us yet about how this fire started. In fact, we're not even sure exactly in which area this started. As you take a look at it, it's tough to tell where one building begins and one ends, but you can see this whole area is burned. Now, the only information we have about the fire came from San Antonio police, who were here at the scene. They told us this involved two businesses, a home, and some apartments. The fire broke out before 10:30 last night. Firefighters were in the thick of fighting this fire when we were here, so we were not able to get a briefing from them. Police told us that it did appear that there was no one home inside the home portion of this as it was burning, but we don't know whether anyone in those apartments may have been displaced, and we are hoping to find out more about this later on today. Reporting live on the southwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. In the meantime, gun violence erupts in several U.S. cities over the long holiday weekend.
As CNN's John Lawrence reports, some of the victims that were shot and killed were children.
Gunfire kills at least 4 children in Chicago, Atlanta, and elsewhere this long July 4th weekend. One of the victims, 8-year-old Secoria Turner.
We understand the frustration of racial roots. We understand. We ain't got nothing to do with it. We innocent.
She and 3 other people were shot in 2 incidents near the Wendy's where Rayshard Brooks was killed by police last month amid national outrage over police brutality. But Atlanta's mayor says this is different.
These aren't police officers shooting people on the streets of Atlanta. These are members of the community shooting each other. Enough is enough.
Fatal gunshots also fired in Chicago Saturday, killing a 7-year-old girl.
It's a shame that kids can't be out here playing without worrying about people shooting and doing nonsense.
In Washington, D.C., John Ayala, the founder of the D.C. Guardian Angels, lost his 11-year-old grandson, Davon McNeil, Saturday when bullets were fired near the Frederick Douglass Community Center.
He was with his moms, and instead when he get out to get the charger, that's when he shot and killed.
And in Alabama, a 22-year-old man is facing a capital murder charge for Friday's fatal shooting of an 8-year-old at a shopping mall just south of Birmingham. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Iran claims it knows what caused a mysterious fire at a key facility in its nuclear program, but won't yet reveal it. Authorities say no one was killed in the incident, but the site, which has been a key in the country's uranium enrichment program, sustained major damage. Satellite images show the complex before and after the fire took place. Questions remain as to whether Iranian officials have fully disclosed the extent of the damage.
Well, heavy rain continues in southern Japan today, where deep floodwaters and mudslides have left 39 people confirmed or presumed dead. That includes an elderly home facility where more than a dozen died. Large areas along the Kuma River were swallowed by floodwaters. Many houses, buildings, and vehicles were seen submerged almost up to their roofs. Mudslides smashed into houses, sending people to rooftops waving at rescuers. Well, it's 5:37 and 80 degrees outside.
Still ahead, if you're thinking about new flooring in your home and you have pets, you need to choose wisely. That's a big dog. We'll take a look at your best options.
And next, as people continue to tear down controversial statues, President Donald Trump makes a vow to protect the country's historical monuments.
And outside with live cam. Looks all right out there. A little warm already.
Little.
Some people up in the hill country might have seen some lightning and a little bit of rain. Michael O'Shea's got that for you coming up. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump using the 4th of July holiday to go on the attack.
As ABC's Rachel Scott reports, the president is vowing to protect controversial statues that are being torn down across the country.
As President Trump vowed to protect the nation's monuments,
we will never allow an angry mob to tear down our statues, erase our history, indoctrinate our children, or trample on our freedoms.
An hour away in Baltimore, this one came toppling down. The statue of Christopher Columbus ripped off its pedestal, then thrown into the Inner Harbor. Near the White House, an Independence Day standoff. Dueling chants at the foot of the Washington Monument. Trump supporters clashing with protesters, while the president delivered an address to those gathered to celebrate the 4th of July.
Our goal is not to destroy.
Appealing to his base.
We want safety. We want equal justice. We want religious liberty. We want faith and family.
And going on the attack, comparing fighting Nazis.
American heroes defeated the Nazis, dethroned the fascists, toppled the communists.
To his battle against what he calls the new far-left fascism.
We are now in the process of defeating the radical left, the Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
Protesters camping out on the president's front yard. Tents filling Black Lives Matter Plaza as demonstrators send their own message to the president.
I'm tired of coming out here to scream this. I want to see change. That starts with us.
And President Trump will be back out on the campaign trail next week holding an outdoor rally in New Hampshire. But his supporters will be entering at their own risk, agreeing on a waiver not to sue the campaign if they get sick. Now, the campaign does plan on handing out a face mask to every single attendee, but wearing it will be optional. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
542, 80 degrees.
Up next, hardwood floors are the popular item in flooring right now, but if you have pets, there's more you should think about.
Welcome back. It is 545. When it comes to flooring, it's hard to beat hardwood unless you're part of the 60% of American families who own a pet.
That would be me. So what are the best pet-friendly flooring options? RJ Marcus lets us know in this morning's Angie's List report.
Gleaming hardwood floors are a hot trend right now. Realtors say it's the best bet for selling your house. But if you have pets, especially big dogs, you might want to steer clear.
Many people love hardwood floors, but if you have pets, they may not be your best option because if your pet has an accident, the urine can seep into the wood and stain it. Also, when the pets run across the floor, their claws can scratch it.
Cost is an important factor in home improvement decisions, but so is value, and pet owners should consider what abuse that new flooring can take. Carpeting, for example, may be less expensive, but it's a poor choice for a puppy that's not potty trained. Hardwood is also easily damaged.
Vinyl flooring can be a great option if you have pets because it's just more durable and is scratch resistant.
Laminate generally is the most scratch-resistant flooring for active families. So we're doing more and more of that in the flooring business, and we really recommend that if scratching is a big consideration.
Don't despair if you love that natural material look as much as you love your pet. Recent advances in vinyl plank flooring will give you the look you want and the durability you need.
The manufacturers have learned how to make it so that it looks a lot like the natural textures it's supposed to replicate, stone and wood, and they've got it right, and it's less expensive, and it's warmer to walk on in most cases.
If you don't go with pet-friendly flooring, look for textures and finishes that will help hide any pet damage. You should know how to care for the flooring to keep it looking great, so find out if it can be refinished and ask if there's a guarantee against pet damage. RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
Just went with tile. Just clean everything up.
Probably the easy way to do it. All right, let's check in on traffic with Detective. But I congratulations. I just
well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what for working through this weekend. Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, we do have a couple of accidents. One of them is really big. So this one here, 410 eastbound lanes right as you're arriving at the exit for Harry Wurzbach. But then there's a big one, complete shutdown of all the main lanes of southbound 35. So everyone is having to exit Engle Road. You continue on the access road. Now the actual accident a little bit further up. Here's a shot from TransGuide. As you see, 18-wheeler is involved along with at least one other vehicle. Once again, southbound 35 before you get to Hubertus Road, all main lanes shut down, everyone being forced to the access road. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be that it's that bad of a issue on the access road as far as your volume of traffic. However, do not expect this to open up before 7 o'clock.
Things really picked up there.
That didn't sound good.
Yeah. Now you can add some more good news.
Thank you. I got a beautiful picture. I mean, over the weekend, we, of course, had the 4th, and it was really hot. But then look at that with the full moon in the background.
Yeah.
That gorgeous picture. It almost looks like there's one of those little halos around the moon with some of the high-level moisture out there. But, yeah, great picture. Flying Old Glory proudly. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. And we've got a lot of clouds around this morning. We do also have a few showers. We've had a few that have moved through the area earlier this morning, and now it's almost like another wave is starting to develop, and it's not a lot of rain. You may see a couple of tenths of an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain, perhaps, and there have been a few lightning strikes up in northern, or up in portions of the hill country, I should say. Right now here in town, doesn't look like much is being picked up. There may be a few damp spots on the roads, but we'll still see a few more of these showers kind of moving on through here, especially up around Canyon Lake and then sliding down in towards San Marcos. So if you're going up 35, you are going to run into a little bit of that rain. And then notice how there are a few more showers out here in the hill country. It almost looks like another it's like a little bit of an outflow boundary, if you will, which could help to spawn a few more of these showers around. Most of this is just going to be sticking around this morning, and then we'll have partly cloudy skies later on today. It is extremely warm, of course. It is very, very humid, of course, and that gives us a heat index right now of the low to mid 80s, even some upper 80s, and LaGrange still feels like 90 right now. The usual 24-hour cycle will go through, so dew points are going to be dropping down somewhat later on this afternoon. Therefore, the humidity drops down a little bit later on this afternoon, so we won't have just outrageously high heat index readings. Also, I think we have a couple of extra clouds hanging around here today, and that's going to hold temperatures down ever so slightly. So we will be in the upper 90s today. Obviously, there's going to be some triple-digit readings off to the west and to the southwest. We'll see the humidity come back up tomorrow, and as well as into Wednesday morning, and then it won't drop down probably quite as much in the afternoon tomorrow. So we'll still keep it up in the kind of mid 60s in the afternoon, the dew point temperatures, and so that's going to hold temperatures, air temperatures, just in the upper 90s. We'll have the heat index to deal with, of course. Then humidity is going to start to drop off later on in toward the week and later in the week and the weekend, and so that's going to allow temperatures to get even hotter. So as these dew point temperatures drop off, air temperatures are going to be really starting to go up as we go into the weekend, and that means we'll see more triple digits around here by the end of the week. That's obviously that out there at the airport, I should say. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature today, 99. It's 1 degree, but it seems like it makes a whole lot of difference. Partly cloudy skies and southerly wind at about 10-15 miles per hour. Then tomorrow and Wednesday, again, partly cloudy skies, 1 or 2 extra clouds hanging around here. We will keep temperatures in the upper 90s, and then we get into the triple digits again once we get into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday. Looks like it's going to be hotter this weekend than even what we had this past weekend.
I hope those numbers go down.
Keep hoping.
I hope they go down. You know, sometimes you can get closer and they
October.
Come on, October.
551, 80 degrees.
Well, the voice behind the classic rock staples, including Come Sail Away and Lady, is working on his final albums. Those details just ahead. Sing it my way with me.
Sing the lottery numbers if you'd like to. Pick 3095, Fireball is 6, and the Daily 4, 8246, Fireball is 2.
Cash 5, 5, 6, 17, 29, 33, and the Texas Lotto 1, 14, 22, 36, 38. And Powerball 16, 21, 27, 60, 61. Powerball is 6, and Power Play is 2.
Coming up here on GMA, 9 states hitting new coronavirus records over the holiday weekend. Americans across the country celebrating without social distancing. And now hundreds of doctors are warning that the virus is likely airborne. One of the nation's leading health experts will join us to discuss right here on GMA.
It's so hard to say goodbye, so I promise not to cry.
Dennis DeYoung has dropped the first of a pair of albums, wrapping up his recording career with 26 East Volume 1.
And I thank my lucky stars that we've come so very far.
It's my final album, although it's now Volume 1 and Volume 2 because there were just too doggone many songs that we wrote. My buddy Jim Peterick, who wrote Eye of the Tiger and a bunch of other songs, and the president of the record company, kept after me like a nagging person for 3 years to do this record. I didn't want to do it anymore, Rick. I just didn't. And they convinced me to do it. I'm so glad I did. It's my chance to say goodbye to all the fans of Styx and myself who have given me this, as you can see, this incredible life.
To the good old days when the world was new.
The album features DeYoung duetting with Julian Lennon on To the Good Old Days.
If I hadn't seen his dad's band on Ed Sullivan, I don't know what I would have done with my life. Seeing that moment, as so many musicians from my generation will tell you, it was an epiphany.
To the good old days.
on my last album, I wanted to pay tribute. So I wrote this song as a tribute, and then I thought, I wonder if I could get Julian Lennon to sing with me. I never met him. I just sent it to him cold, but I was a fan. So he wrote back he would be honored to do it. I went, really? What a universe this can be sometimes.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Still ahead in our next half hour of Good Morning San Antonio, Army officials defending their handling of the case of the Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen, but her family calling for a congressional investigation. The latest details just ahead. And as we go to break, here's a check of the roadways with the one accident over there, I-35 at Schwab Road. Officer Trujillo updated us on that. Mike's got your weather forecast and more news coming up in the next half.
Fire here on the southwest side takes out a couple of businesses and a home all in one fell swoop. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about that.
And Bexar County Sheriff's deputies are trying to learn more about a drive-by shooting in southwest Bexar County. Right now, one person is in the hospital with a gunshot wound.
79 degrees outside. Let's take a look out at live cam. You know what? I think we're going to have some triple digits this week. Mike will let us know about that in just a bit.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It is Monday, July 6th.
Thank you so much for
the Monday after.
The Monday after. Thank you, David, for reminding us. It's the Monday after 4th of July. I had a lot of fireworks.
Did you?
Saturday and Sunday night.
I think we mentioned earlier a lot of fireworks shows were canceled or postponed, but apparently some folks in the neighborhood didn't get the message.
They brought the party to the neighborhood.
They did.
Indeed they did.
And it continued through the whole weekend, like on into early this morning.
Oh, really?
Disrupted David's sleep schedule.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear all. The only fireworks I saw were what Mother Nature was providing, just a couple of lightning strikes out there this morning. We do still have a few showers that are showing up on radar as of right now. As much as this was trying to develop, now it looks like it's starting to sort of die off just a little bit. But we have some of these little disturbances. This is almost like a little wave in the atmosphere right there, that line, which may touch off a couple of more of these as the morning rolls on. Nothing in and around town right now. There may still be a few damp spots, though, because a lot of us ran into some rain coming into work earlier this morning. And there's still a few of those showers out there in northern Comal County and, northern Hayes County, beg your pardon, and even right around Canyon Lake, heading in toward San Marcos, maybe a couple of them in toward New Braunfels, and then a few more scattered showers out in portions of the hill country. Again, it's not a huge rain event at all, just a couple of these showers. They'll be sticking around throughout the rest of the morning. We've dropped to 79 degrees, still 5 above normal, though. Of course, a lot of humidity out there. Heat index reading at about 3, 4, 5 degrees to the current temperature, and that's what it feels like. Temperatures, we will stay right around upper 70s, 80 here in town, and then make it up to the 90-degree range at noon and keep going from there and get up into the upper 90s. We did hit 100 both Saturday and Sunday, 101, 102 respectively. I don't think we'll hit it here in town today. It'll be close, obviously. In the next couple of days, it's going to be very close to triple-digit readings. But as Sarah was alluding to, yeah, there's more triple digits in the forecast. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Officer Marcus Trujillo. And last half hour, you were talking about that huge accident. It's on 35. Still going on?
Still have that, and we expect that to be with us throughout the morning commute. So right now, let's get to minor accident before we head outside the city limits. 410 at Harry Wurzbach on the eastbound main lanes, and now this one, complete shutdown of southbound 35. So folks, if you're just listening, you want to pay attention to this one, particularly for those folks that need to travel from Austin, San Marcos, New Braunfels back towards San Antonio. All main lanes of 35 on the southbound side are being forced to exit their Schwab Road. So that's causing this backup here. The accident further up ahead, right before you get to Hubertus. But we're trying to get everybody off the roadway onto the access road. So that's going to delay some folks significantly this morning. Now, as you can see from this TransGuide camera shot, we have a number of emergency vehicles there at the scene. Do not expect this to open up before 7 o'clock this morning. David and Sarah?
Thank you, Officer Trujillo. The work week will start with some cleanup work for the owners of a couple of businesses on the southwest side. They went up in flames late last night in the 1100 block of Quintana Road.
Our Katrina Weber is live there where it happened. Now, Katrina, we understand there was also a home and possibly some apartments involved. Was anyone living there?
Well, what we've been told is that no one was inside the home when the fire broke out. It's still unclear if anyone was actually living there or in the apartments that were affected. Now, I can tell you here in the dark, if you take one look, it's tough to tell what is what in this mass of burned buildings. According to San Antonio police, the fire affected 2 commercial buildings, a home, some apartments, and possibly some cars that were on this property. The fire broke out before 10:30 last night, and it took firefighters quite a while to put it out. At least one of the businesses appears to be a car repair place or mechanic shop, so there are several cars here on the property, some of which appear to be damaged. And we don't know yet whether any people were injured. We also are waiting to find out exactly where in this massive burned buildings the fire started and how it started. Reporting live on the southwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Also new this morning, a woman is recovering from a gunshot wound following an overnight drive-by shooting. According to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, the woman was outside of her home in the 11,000 block of Fowler Road around 3:30 this morning, and that's when the shooting happened. That's in southwest Bexar County near I-35 in Shepherd. Now, deputies say they do not have a solid description of the suspect's vehicle. The scene remains under investigation. The victim is expected to be okay.
Well, the San Antonio Police Department is asking your help to find a man. This is 82-year-old Rocky Mancias. Police say he was last seen yesterday at 11 in the morning. They say he was wearing a gray and white Armani striped shirt, black pants, brown sandals with a gold watch. He drives a 2012 red Nissan Versa with handicap plates that read 6HNMD. If you have seen Mancias, please call SAPD at 210-207-8126.
San Antonio and Bexar County reported the youngest COVID-19 related death so far.
The patient was no older than 19, according to the city's website. It was also one of the 8 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. That makes 13 total this holiday weekend. In addition, 198 new cases were reported, bringing our total to 14,751 people.
And now the city of San Antonio will only administer COVID-19 tests to people experiencing symptoms of the virus. The new guideline takes effect at all free city operating testing sites. That includes the Freeman Coliseum, Kazin Middle School, and Cuellar Community Center. Anyone who may have been exposed or is asymptomatic will have to be tested at a healthcare facility. Some of the symptoms of COVID-19 once again include cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, and nausea.
Well, as the death toll continues to rise, Mayor Ron Nirenberg took to social media to address the community last night. As the death toll continues to climb, so do other numbers. Over 1,000 COVID-19 patients have been hospitalized. While there are still some staffed beds and ventilators available, the mayor says area hospitals are approaching capacity. But he adds there is hope if the community continues to follow the typical health practice.
The tools that we do have at our disposal are simple and effective. So please, stay home if you can.
Mayor Nirenberg also says another stay home work safe order is not outside of the realm of possibility. He says he does not want to see it happen, but it could if cases continue to rise. The mayor also says that right now only Governor Greg Abbott control what can stay open and closed.
A new study out of Florida Atlantic University says homemade masks and off-the-shelf cone masks are the best at preventing the spread of the coronavirus. However, both masks must be well fitted to your face, and the homemade masks are best with a few layers of fabric. Meanwhile, loosely folded masks or bandanas can limit droplets to half the distance of an uncovered cough. One of the study's authors says that no mask is perfect, and it is important to combine wearing masks with other measures like social distancing and washing your hands. Now to the latest on the killing of Vanessa Guillen, the Fort Hood soldier last seen back in April.
This morning, a suspect in the case will make her first court appearance. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest.
This morning, more than 2 months later, confirmation that investigators have identified the remains of Army soldier Vanessa Guillen, as her family claims the Army did not take her disappearance seriously.
I'm not just going to stay grieving in my room because I know Vanessa wouldn't want that. She wants justice.
Guillen was last seen April 22nd outside her barracks at Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas. Investigators found her remains in late June, 20 miles from the base.
Why it happened? Why it took this long?
Investigators say Army Specialist Aaron Robinson took his own life after being identified as a suspect. This morning, his alleged accomplice, Cecily Aguilar, will make her first court appearance, accused of helping dismember and hide Guillen's body. Aguilar is the estranged wife of a former soldier at Fort Hood. According to attorneys for Guillen's family, Aguilar told investigators that Guillen saw a picture of her on Robinson's phone and threatened to report Robinson for adultery, which is a crime in the military. But Guillen's family does not believe that was the motive. They say Robinson was sexually harassing Guillen.
Vanessa's father, her sisters all said that's not like Vanessa to want to report someone for having an affair. What we believe is she probably was telling him she was going to report him about the sexual harassment.
Investigators say they found no evidence that Guillen was sexually harassed. Army officials are defending their handling of the case.
What I was able to share was tempered by my responsibility to protect the integrity of the investigation so that we could A, find Vanessa, B, prosecute those responsible for this travesty.
Guillen's family is calling for a congressional investigation into how this case was handled. Cecily Aguilar, meanwhile, faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
It is now 6:10 and 79 degrees.
Well, this morning, many are remembering the life and work of a famous composer. We will see what some of Ennio Morricone's lasting impressions are in world culture.
And if your child is musically inclined, they could have a chance to audition for the Youth Orchestra of San Antonio. After the break, we'll take a look at how they can try out and expand their skills.
Before we take off, let's take a look outside with live cam. It's 79 degrees. It's muggy out there. The hair is heavy, and you might have gotten some sprinkles, but will the sprinkles stop and will things heat up? Mike will let us know later on in the newscast.
Right now on KSAT.com, the Youth Orchestras of San Antonio is holding online auditions and a virtual summer camp this month. First, the Summer Symphony Camp takes place from July 13th through the 17th. The virtual camp will give campers the opportunity to improve their skills, work with professional artists, and make music. Registration for the camp is now open on the YOSA website. Also, you can be a part of the upcoming YOSA season by auditioning online. The audition includes sending in a recording of yourself playing. Auditions will close on July 15th, and it's free to try. All the information on how to audition and the virtual camp are on our website, KSAT.com. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Micah Mulford's love of building things moved from remote control cars to something more practical during this pandemic.
When I saw how big of a need there was for these extenders, I decided to put my 3D printers to work.
Micah's printed more than 3,000 face mask extenders to help masks fit better. All 3 of Micah's printers are running 24/7, shipping them for free to hospitals and nursing homes throughout Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and North Carolina.
It just really makes me feel like I'm actually doing something.
High school senior Ranch Kimball put his love of engineering to good use.
Food retailer workers were sort of on the front lines of this crisis.
With a modified table saw and his own design, Ranch creates plexiglass shields.
I thought it'd be a perfect way for me to apply my skills.
And Joe Kianco has turned shopping and delivery into his first business.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to go shopping for people.
A recent college grad with a degree in finance, he created an Instagram page and got his first customer.
We got a pretty small order today, just some chips, soup.
Creating Smart Shop to help the elderly.
Meat, dairy products, some produce.
A team of 50 drivers now deliver to 850 customers. They're now expanding from Long Island to New Jersey, Manhattan, Connecticut, and now Joe has his eyes set on California, Colorado, and Florida.
This is taking off, and the best part about it is that we are helping thousands of people.
All right, that's everything. Thank you so much.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Taking the initiative. I like that.
I like that. I like some positive news this morning, but I do know that traffic, you've been busy over there, Officer Trujillo.
That's right. And taking the initiative, folks want to take the initiative and leave a little bit earlier. If you normally use southbound 35 from San Marcos, New Braunfels, Austin, or beyond to head into San Antonio. That's because we have a complete shutdown of all the main lanes of southbound 35. Everyone's being forced to exit Schwab Road and then stay on the access road until you make it past the accident. And it looks like we could have a secondary accident there just before the main one there on the access road. But that first accident that shut down all the main lanes of southbound 35, you see we have a number of emergency vehicles here. Expect this to be in place at least until 7 o'clock this morning, if not later.
And you may run into a couple of showers on the roads this morning, too. So we've had a little bit of rain. You all ran into some rain?
Oh, yeah, on 35 this morning I did.
Yeah.
7 drops.
7 drops, okay.
He counted them. I had more than 7 drops.
A couple of light. Yeah, my wipers are actually going. So you may run in. It's not going to be a huge rain event, though, unfortunately. Nice view of some of the beautiful flowers down there along the river walk. And yes, happy 4th of July and Old Glory right on that bridge there. Beautiful. Thank you so much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, well, a couple of breaks in the clouds as of right now, and some really dark-looking clouds, though, as well. We do still have some of these showers, although when it looked like it was starting to fire up a little bit more about an hour or so ago. Now it looks like a lot of this is starting to sort of die down. We do have more of these showers off to the east and northeast, and then there's notice this line right here. It's kind of a little disturbance is trying to move through the area, and that may actually touch off a couple of more showers and even a few storms as the morning rolls on, but it's just going to be basically, I think, a morning type situation. We don't have much showing up in town as of right now. A couple of more showers that are sliding right down 10, heading just about into, say, Bernie and some in Bandera, and then a few more further up to the north. And those are going to be, that's the best area if you want to see more rain even later on this afternoon is going to be east of Austin. And out in the hill country, what was showing up a little bit of rain, looks like it's pretty much all dying down. 79 in town, 78 Valverde, as well as Comfort, 75 in Divine. And of course, we've got our morning humidity around here, so dew points are back up into the 70s. So we've got a heat index. It's in the low to mid 80s around most of the area right now. Humidity will drop off this afternoon, and so it will be more comfortable this afternoon, kind of like the past couple of days if you're in the shade. Still going to be hot. I mean, we're going for upper 90s. So it was 101, 102 Saturday, Sunday, respectively. And now the humidity is going to come back up tomorrow morning and may actually not drop down quite as much in the afternoon. So that'll do a couple of things. Obviously, it's going to have a higher heat index reading, but that will also then help to keep temperatures just shy of 100, the actual air temperature. But of course, when it's all said and done, it's going to feel like it's well up into the low hundreds. And then we'll go through the same situation again once we get in the middle part of the week. Now, humidity is going to be staying up a little bit the next couple of days in the afternoon. Then it's going to start to drop off. But as it drops off more significantly, that then is going to allow temperatures to heat up because the drier air doesn't take as much energy to heat up drier air. And so therefore, we're going to be seeing air temperatures really getting up there again. So we're looking at more triple digits later on in the week. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies, and we'll have a high temperature today up to 99. Of course, in your backyard, it may be just into the triple digits, off toward the Rio Grande Valley, getting up into triple digits as well. And 98s tomorrow as well as on Wednesday. A couple of extra clouds here and there. And again, just maybe a hint more humidity in the afternoon hours, and then back to the triple digit temperatures as we go into Thursday through the weekend, and even some low hundreds.
Calm down, Sarah.
You know,
Calm down.
I'm accepting.
It's okay. Calm down.
I'm accepting it. I'm saying, you know what, we can do this. Everything's going to be okay. We can stay inside.
Because you're from South Texas, right?
I mean, I'm from
grew up
here.
here.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
It seems like every year everybody's surprised. It's like, wow, it's hot. It's hot.
I know. It's like, wait, whoa, it's not going to happen. It's happening.
So we've got 2 100 days so far, right?
Yep, Saturday and Sunday.
621, 79 degrees. Just like to keep up.
Well, as we figure out ways to keep people at work amid the pandemic, some parents are faced with a dilemma. In today's GMA First Look, we will explore how some people are handling going back to work before their child can go back to school or daycare.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a free iced coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Ready to shine from the inside out? Try Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails Gummies. The #1 brand to support silky hair, glowing skin, and healthy nails. Beauty comes naturally, only from Nature's Bounty.
Ever wonder where the capital A in Chick-fil-A came from? It started with grade A, top quality chicken. But we believed everything, not just the food, should be grade A. A is for all the little things we do to bring you our best every day.
To me, the A in Chick-fil-A is for above and beyond. I know that I need encouragement right now, and I know that our guests need encouragement. It's about making sure that they know that we care about them and that we're going above and beyond for them in all the details.
Doing the things we love can be painful. Aspercream's triple effect provides targeted relief, works in minutes, lasts for hours. Love hurts. Aspercream works.
In this morning's GMA First Look, it's the parenting challenge of the COVID economy. Parents struggling to hang on while school districts decide what the classroom will look like come fall.
I am hearing universally that we are overwhelmed. We know we can't keep up with this. Everybody is overwhelmed and everybody has their hands tied.
Deb Perelman, a New York City mom and author, telling GMA that parents are desperate for a solution.
There are people who have hit pause, been able to hit the pause button on a project under the idea that September would return some level of normalcy in childcare and not having your kids there all day. And now they can't. And they're really afraid they're going to have to leave the workforce.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll tell you why experts say when it comes to back to school, there's no one-size-fits-all plan. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
Well, Oscar-winning Italian film composer Ennio Morricone died this morning in Italy. His lawyer says he died in the hospital in Rome after falling and breaking his leg. Morricone is best known internationally for his instantly recognizable melodies from, quote, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and Once Upon a Time in West. The Italian composer was famous for the scores of many other spaghetti westerns and won an Academy Award for his score for Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. Morricone was 91 years old.
The rideshare business Uber making a big purchase this week after being hit hard by the pandemic. It's now going after the food delivery app Postmates. And the company hopes the reported $2.65 billion deal will expand on its demand for delivery service.
Well, Google may have fixed the Chrome browser's battery drain problem. It says a software change could add as much as 2 hours to a laptop's battery life, but it's not clear when the update is coming. But reports say it's imminent and will only be available to those running Android 10 or later.
And finally, a massive display by a casino still under construction. Resorts World Las Vegas activated its 100,000 square foot LED screen with a digital fireworks show. The 340 feet wide screen is made up of more than 3,000 LED panels. It took 7 months just to build it. And they had to find a light switch to turn it on.
Can you imagine being responsible for every little coordinate?
I wonder what that looks like flying into Vegas.
Oh, it's got to be super cool. All right, it is 6:28 and 79 degrees.
Now that the holiday weekend is behind us, health officials around the country are waiting to learn how it will impact hospitalization numbers. We will have an update in our next half hour.
And the Spurs are getting ready to leave for Orlando to finish out the season. We will take a look at how they are preparing and what they are focusing on before the restart.
And coming up, as coronavirus cases continue to climb, some cities in America putting restrictions on 4th of July celebrations. I'm Andrew Dibbert in Washington, D.C. with the latest.
Outside with live cam, we've had a little rain this morning, at least up in the hill country. It's trying to move down into San Antonio. Mike, I'll have your forecast coming up in just a second. It is Monday, July 6th.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know I'm happy to be here, David.
I'm thrilled.
David was
So
upset
excited.
because he heard some fireworks late last night. Woke him up.
Yeah, it's like
That was probably a little bit of some lightning and thunder. So.
You think so?
Maybe, yeah. That's a story and sticking to it. So anyway.
Okay, go with that.
I think you just would rather have joined them.
Well, yeah, that would have been that'd have been fun.
There you go.
Been out there.
Well, we do have that accident still shut down all of southbound 35 up there in the neighborhood of Schwab Road, Hubertus Road. So that major accident is still with us.
And got a couple of damp spots on the roads. We had some rain. I think we all saw a little bit of rain, or maybe a little bit more. And some folks out in the hill country have seen a bit more. We are actually starting to see a couple of holes in these clouds as well. And then there are a few more showers out there. It was kind of few and far between, then started to pick up a little bit. Now it seems like it has sort of died off just a little bit. This is some clutter around the radar site right here. But right there around Medina Lake, got another nice shower, a couple of moderate downpours. So in spots, you may pick up a couple of tenths of an inch, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain very briefly as these showers move on through here. A couple more that are just to the north of right around San Marcos, sliding down to the southeast, and then it's pretty much about it in parts of the hill country. We've got some little disturbances hanging around here, so there may be a few more this morning, and then I think that's pretty much going to be about it. 79 in town, 77 Randolph, 78 in Hondo. Lots of humidity, of course, so step outside, and it feels like it's in the low to mid 80s around much of the area. And throughout the rest of today, after a couple of showers, and there have been a few lightning strikes this morning, although most of that has come to an end. Partly cloudy skies, and we're going to be up to 99 today, so I think just shy of 100. Of course, we hit it both days over the weekend, 101, 102. Saturday, Sunday, respectively. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, get upper 90s. We keep a little bit more humidity in the afternoon, I think, the next couple of days. Then the air is really going to start to dry out starting Thursday through the weekend. Sunny, hot, low hundreds all the way through the weekend. Yep, it's going to be a scorcher. Details coming up. Time saver traffic right now. So 35, you said southbound, still shut down.
Still shut down. So we're going to move up just outside 1604. These are the southbound main lanes, as you see right there. Everyone being forced off at Schwab Road. Now the action is further down southbound 35, right before you get to Hubertus Road. That's FM 1103. But all traffic is being forced to exit on Schwab Road. Now let's take a look outside through TransGuide. You can see we have a number of emergency vehicles out there. There's also damage to that center median as well. So that's what's also adding to the delay and opening up these lanes. But once again, all main lanes of southbound 35 closed at this point until further notice. David?
Monday morning mess. Thank you, sir. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters spent most of the night battling a fire that involved at least 4 structures on the southwest side. It happened just after 10 last night in the 1100 block of Quintana Road, just east of the Kelly Field Annex. San Antonio police say an apartment building, 2 commercial buildings, and a house were all involved. SAPD says no one was home at the time. They say a few vehicles were also on fire. A cause not been determined yet, but the house appears to be a complete loss.
Well, with the backdrop of the coronavirus pandemic this year, the 4th of July holiday weekend looked and felt different than years past.
Yeah, most fireworks displays across the nation canceled, and they were trying to avoid large crowds, and beaches were closed in Florida, California, and here in Texas. But as Andrew Dimbert reports from Washington, didn't prevent people from gathering despite surges in cases in several hotspots.
Good morning. As coronavirus cases continue to climb in some parts of the country, many cities over the 4th of July weekend putting restrictions in place to stop large crowds, but it didn't prevent all groups from gathering. As several states see a spike in coronavirus cases, crowds and celebrations this 4th of July weekend were seen coast to coast. Many ignoring social distancing and mask recommendations. In Florida, one of the nation's newest COVID-19 hotspots, there are now over 200,000 confirmed cases, 10,000 in one day alone. The state now accounting for 20% of new cases in the entire country.
As the cases do rise, increase in hospitalizations will definitely increase as well. This is going to be something that isn't going to go away overnight.
Meanwhile, President Trump continues to dismiss the new numbers, again suggesting the spikes are a result of more testing.
We have tested almost 40 million people. By so doing, we show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless.
FDA Commissioner Dr. Stephen Hahn disagrees.
Well, what I'd say is, any case we don't want to have in this country. Any death, any case is tragic.
A vaccine is still a ways away, with health officials hoping one can be produced by the end of this year or early next year. And still, many parts of the country are moving forward with their reopening plans. New York City, for example, once the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, is moving forward with phase 3 of its reopening today, while here in D.C. a couple of weeks ago, we entered phase 2. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the city of Bexar, China, is on high alert after local authorities believe they found a case of the bubonic plague on Sunday. Health officials issued a warning saying the city, which is just northwest of Beijing, is at risk of an epidemic of the plague. The warning will stay in effect until the end of the year. The plague is caused by bacteria and transmitted through flea bites and infected animals. It is one of the deadliest bacteria infections in human history, killing about 50 million people in Europe during the Black Death.
Officials believe 8 people are dead after 2 planes collided in Idaho Sunday. It happened in the afternoon over Coeur d'Alene Lake. The county sheriff's office says first responders recovered 2 of the bodies, but the aircraft sank before they could find the other 6. Officials say multiple children are among the dead.
Well, for the first time in 6 years, the U.S. Navy has a presence in the South China Sea. 2 Navy aircraft carriers moved into the waters contested by several nations. China, Taiwan, and Vietnam all claim to have a presence in the sea. While U.S. and China relations have deteriorated, Washington has increased its operations in the region. Beijing responded, calling the U.S. presence destabilizing, but said the 2 carriers are nothing more than paper tigers on its doorstep.
Iran claims it knows what caused a mysterious fire at a facility in its nuclear program last week, but won't reveal it yet. Authorities say no one was killed in the incident, but the site, which has been key in the country's uranium enrichment program, sustained major damage. Satellite images show the complex before and after the fire took place. Questions remain as to whether Iranian officials have fully disclosed the extent of the damage.
Well, it's 6:39 and 79 degrees.
Hardwood floors are all the craze for homeowners right now, unless you own a pet. After the break, we'll show you a few pet-friendly flooring options to consider.
Gleaming hardwood floors are a hot trend right now. Realtors say it's the best bet for selling your house. But if you have pets, especially big dogs, you might want to steer clear.
Many people love hardwood floors, but if you have pets, they may not be your best option because if your pet has an accident, the urine can seep into the wood and stain it. Also, when the pets run across the floor, their claws can scratch it.
Cost is an important factor in home improvement decisions, but so is value, and pet owners should consider what abuse that new flooring can take. Carpeting, for example, may be less expensive, but it's a poor choice for a puppy that's not potty trained. Hardwood is also easily damaged.
Vinyl flooring can be a great option if you have pets because it's just more durable and is scratch resistant.
Laminate generally is the most scratch-resistant flooring for active families. So we're doing more and more of that in the flooring business, and we really recommend that if scratching is a big consideration.
Don't despair if you love that natural material look as much as you love your pet. Recent advances in vinyl plank flooring will give you the look you want and the durability you need.
The manufacturers have learned how to make it so that it looks a lot like the natural textures it's supposed to replicate, stone and wood, and they've got it right, and it's less expensive, and it's warmer to walk on in most cases.
If you don't go with pet-friendly flooring, look for textures and finishes that will help hide any pet damage. You should know how to care for the flooring to keep it looking great, so find out if it can be refinished and ask if there's a guarantee against pet damage. RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
The Spurs continue their workouts at their own practice facility here in San Antonio. They continue to get tested on a daily basis as well, while the Spurs practice facility is cleaned regularly. In fact, this is a very rare look inside the Spurs practice facility since the media is not allowed. Only team staff members that will be traveling with the Spurs when they depart for Orlando on Thursday are being allowed inside the facility to give us this video. Derek White was one of the players getting in some practice time on the court in the Spurs' first virtual press conference during the COVID-19 pandemic. White was asked what it would be like to restart the season without their second leading scorer, LaMarcus Aldridge, after the team announced he is out with a shoulder injury.
Obviously you can't replace LA. 20, 10 every night. So we're going to do it by committee. Everybody's got to do a little bit more, just step up and try to make up for his loss. So everybody's just going to have to play a little bit more, do a little bit outside of what we normally do when LA's there.
All right, when the NBA resumes, games will be played at Disney World in what the league is calling an environment bubble. That means no fans or interaction with friends and family during the competition, and that could have a big impact on players' mental health. DeMar DeRozan has been very open about his battles with depression, and he, like the NBA, not only concerned about the players' health and the coronavirus, but their mental health as well.
It's tough, you're taking guys who've been with their families every single day for the last few months. So all of a sudden separating everybody into this one confined space and taking away a lot of joyful things that we do outside of basketball that we won't be able to do. So it'll definitely be something, for every single player when it comes to mental health.
All right, so the Spurs will be leaving Thursday, and then they'll get out there and practice and then have a couple of scrimmage games before the season starts July 31st. There's July 23rd. They get the Bucks, and then they get the Nets, and then they have a practice scrimmage game against the Pacers on July 28th before opening up the final 8 games of the regular season.
It's exciting.
Yeah, hey, been begging for this for a long time.
We've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, see how it works out.
Well, Officer Trujillo, I know you've had a busy morning. That accident in northern part of 35 still happening?
It's still in place, Sarah. Take a look at the map here. We can see that that line of red is just growing, getting longer and longer. So folks that are coming into San Antonio, if you're coming from San Marcos, from New Braunfels, or beyond Austin, give it some time. You may want to delay that trip. That's because all traffic's being diverted onto the access road. So southbound 35, once you make it to Schwab Road, you'll see everyone being forced off to the access road right there exiting Schwab. And we still have a number of emergency vehicles out there here at this accident. You see there's the King Kong wrecker, that 18-wheeler up ahead, still in place. And part of that concrete barrier was also damaged during that accident. So don't expect this accident to clear anytime soon. Mike?
Thank you very much, sir. Well, let's look at that accident for a little bit. And you can see it's gray and cloudy out there. And we have had a couple of showers around the area this morning. We all saw a little bit of rain this morning, including a few lightning strikes.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Saw some lightning, though.
Yeah, there was some lightning out there. Fireworks over the weekend, too.
Yeah.
Which was
it's a
nice.
pretty shot behind you.
I know. It's a beautiful shot.
Where is that?
Medina Lake.
Oh,
wow. So pretty.
Nice.
Gorgeous out there. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at the clear skies in behind that. Yeah, it was a fantastic weekend. It was hot this weekend. Of course, we had 101 Saturday, 102 on Sunday. We're going to be just shy of triple digits here in town today in the next couple of days, but oh, don't worry. They'll come back. They're in the forecast. A lot of hazy conditions out there, as well as some rain. And it looked like things were trying to pick up somewhat a couple of hours ago, as you can see out there in portions of the hill country, and that's all died off. We still have some of these showers off to the east, and nothing really showing up here in town. A few one little spot right up there near San Marcos, and then that's pretty much about it. There were a few lightning strikes out there, and that's just some clutter on the radar site. So it looks like everything is kind of settled down. Perhaps a leftover shower here or there, but it's going to be few and far between. Things are definitely coming to an end. 79 degrees in town, 77 Valverde, Comfort, Bandera, 76 in Kerrville, and the humidity dew points, of course, measure moisture in the atmosphere well up into the 70s right now. So it is humid out there. We do have a heat index to deal with at about 3, 4, 5 degrees to the current temperature. Now, the humidity, it's going to be dropping down. Dew points will drop into the low 60s around much of the air, except here along the coastal plain. So it will be a bit more comfortable this afternoon. We won't have an extreme heat index to deal with at all. Humidity will come back in, dew points to go up overnight, and then drop back down tomorrow, but not quite as much. So I think we keep a little more humidity in the afternoon tomorrow. So that will obviously make it feel warmer, but air temperatures, actual thermometer readings, will still stay just shy of 100 for the next couple of days. Those few showers we had around here this morning, of course, everything continues to sort of die off, and that's pretty much going to be about it throughout the rest of today. High pressure, which is not quite on top of us, and we've got this low right here, this northwesterly flow between the two of them, and a little disturbances sliding around that. That's why we're seeing this rain around here. But as the week rolls on, that high is definitely going to start to work its way on in our direction. It's going to start to build a little bit more, and that's going to make for some hot temperatures going into the weekend and even the first part of next week. So as that thing really kind of sits on top of us and takes hold, that's when things really start to go up as far as temperatures. So we're looking at low hundreds by the weekend again. 90 today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature up to 99. So I think we stayed just shy of 100 today. And again, that's out of the airport. Your backyard, you may actually reach 100, definitely in parts of the Rio Grande Valley. 98 the next couple of days, 1 or 2 extra clouds, maybe a little extra humidity in the afternoon. And then humidity is going to drop, so it'll be a comfortable 100. Yay. And 103 by the weekend.
Also make sure you keep your pets indoors and shade, plenty of water with these high temperatures.
And if they're outdoor, lots of, change the water and watch it on the pavement. Walk on.
Your horses, they get hot, don't they? Sweat a lot.
Oh, yeah, they sweat like crazy. They just go find a shade tree down the bottom of the hill, hang out. Don't move fast, though. 651, 79 degrees.
Well, whether it's your dream home or your starter home, many of us feel like we just need a little more room. Join us tomorrow on GMSA. We explore where to find extra space in your current house.
And another live look outside with a live cam. Looks a little hazy right now. It's hot.
Coming up here on GMA, 9 states hitting new coronavirus records over the holiday weekend. Americans across the country celebrating without social distancing. And now hundreds of doctors are warning that the virus is likely airborne. One of the nation's leading health experts will join us to discuss right here on GMA.
We do have an update for you this morning. SAPD says they found 82-year-old Rocky Mancias this morning in LaSalle County. Police say he is safe and on his way home.
All right, we've had a mess over there on I-35. Let's get an update from Officer Trujillo.
And that's what you see out there on TransGuide. Now, of course, here's the map showing the backlog. Southbound 35 closed before you reach Hubertus Road. All traffic being diverted on the access road. And now we're seeing slowdowns on those northbound main lanes. So it's a good possibility we have another accident in that general area. But the folks coming southbound on 35, all main lanes diverted there, must exit at Schwab Road before you continue to San Antonio.
Didn't you say there's also damage to the concrete barrier in the middle?
Yes, so that's going to be another delay there as they close at least one lane to try to repair those.
Okay, lots of clouds, humidity, and it's still a couple leftover showers, 1 or 2 leftovers around this morning, and we'll keep kind of partly cloudy skies today. 79 degrees in town, plenty of humidity out there, dew points well up into the 70s, and 99 for a high temperature later on today, just shy of 100, but we'll have hundreds back by the weekend.
Everyone stay cool out there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good Morning America is coming up next. We'll see you at 9.